Matsu Borough leaders say they must do better after Alaska State Troopers found 25 dogs dead at a property in the Caswell Lakes area. Troopers say it's now a criminal animal cruelty investigation. Johnson Kuhn continues our coverage of this story. He joins us now with details of his conversation with those Matsu leaders. Johnson.
That's right, Tracy. Tonight, we're hearing from Borough Manager Mike Brown, who says the borough is now reviewing its response after a number of people from the community say they raised red flags with animal control well in advance and question why more wasn't done to prevent this. Alaska State Troopers say they were asked to help Matsu Borough Animal Control with an investigation in the Caswell Lakes area on April 15th. When they arrived, they say they discovered 25 deceased dogs and opened a criminal animal cruelty investigation. But people in the mushing and kennel community say the warning signs started much earlier.
He told me, like, well, I called her and she sent me photos of the dog yard, and the dogs are fine, and she's, you know, taking care of them. So he didn't go. He just basically kind of brushed it off and said, well, the owner has told me otherwise.
Boozer says she kept calling into February, trying to get someone to physically check the property.
He told me, like, you know, you're interfering with my investigation. I need you to not keep calling me.
Others say they trusted the system to handle it.
We believed the system, and the system failed those dogs and failed us.
In response to the outcry, Matsu Borough Manager Mike Brown says he understands why people are upset and says the borough is moving quickly to examine what happened.
This isn't a situation where we didn't do anything or we did nothing, but clearly what was done was not enough to prevent this situation from occurring.
Brown says he remembers complaints going back to early January, though he doesn't yet have an exact count. He says it will take several parties to figure out exactly what happened and make those discoveries known to the public.
We did put out a statement, but we've already begun an internal investigation to take a look at our process, protocols, and we will also initiate an external independent review so that we can bring somebody in from the outside to give us kind of a third-party look.
When asked about the one dog said to have survived the ordeal, Brown says the dog is now in the borough's care.
The animal shelter did receive the adult dog in its care on April 15th. The dog has received a veterinary examination, IV fluids, and other supportive care, and is under the care of our shelter veterinarian currently, and is currently in stable condition.
Troopers say more information will be released as the investigation continues. And the borough manager says the internal review could move faster than the outside review, but he did not give a firm timeline for when all findings will be released. Troopers have not announced any charges. Johnson Kuhn, Alaska's news source.
During the reporting of this story last night at 6, we named someone as the property owner where animal control discovered the dogs. That person is a renter, not an owner of the property, and we want to reiterate that they have not been charged. In Fairbanks, the Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation has started its community outreach program to update winter air quality boundaries. The DEC is deciding if it wants to separate the current combined Fairbanks and North Pole areas into distinct zones. They think it could better reflect actual conditions and boost progress to cleaner air. Rain can sometimes help air quality levels, and parts of Alaska are going to be seeing some of that headed into the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry is tracking that for us.
Yeah, Tracy, if nothing else, at least maybe some of the dust will come down that we see kind of sneak up this time of year. And hey, I just have to show you this really quickly in case it goes away in the next second or two. The sun's out over Anchorage, some peaks in those clouds as temperatures sit in the upper 30s. We're not done with the rain for tonight. Still seeing some showers moving through. So if you are headed out on this Friday evening, grab the rain gear. Palmer sitting at 44, also seeing those chances for showers tonight. The rain still coming down. You can see a very soggy Egan Drive there tonight at 41 degrees. And Fairbanks dry for now, but we will see chances for those showers pushing in once we get later into the weekend. Tonight, you can see those scattered showers moving north of the Sterling Highway on the Kenai Peninsula. That's all tracking closer to Cook Inlet. And I do expect those showers to show up here in Anchorage just in the next hour or so. so. Be ready for that. And then we'll see it pushing north into the valley from there. Also still seeing pretty wet conditions from this same storm lingering in Prince William Sound and in southeast. But the bigger story is the next one that is coming in from the western Aleutians, pushing across the Bering Sea. We do already have warnings, watches, advisories in place because of the wind and snow that is going to move into western Alaska starting tomorrow and then continuing into Sunday. From here, that will move on into south central. But first, both south central and the interior will see a nice little break on storms until that next one gets here early Sunday morning. Do be prepared for those wet and windy conditions for at least the second half of the weekend. Otherwise, tonight it's just those isolated showers popping up. Temperatures still sliding into the low 30s. A little snow mixing in, still certainly possible, but hopefully get some time to enjoy those sun breaks that we'll see Saturday afternoon. Tracy, I'll have a look at that more detailed forecast here in a few minutes.
56 teachers in the Anchorage School District will be losing their jobs, leading to larger classroom sizes next school year. That's due to voters appearing to have rejected a tax levy that may have dodged some of those cuts. School District Superintendent Jarrett Bryant says the cuts were a necessary move to help deal with a $90 million deficit.
I think collectively over 70 non-instructional positions were eliminated from this building. We made other changes as well, and even after all of those cuts, we had to make the difficult decision of increasing our pupil to teacher ratio by 4.
Bryant says the district is surveying more people about changes in the future. He plans to meet with community members based on that feedback. The Strait of Hormuz is open, and with it, a decrease in the price of oil. But how is that going to impact Alaska? Back from Juneau, we have our political reporter, Will Courtney, who just spoke with Senator Lisa Murkowski about those impacts. Will?
Yeah, Tracy, the price of oil has been a double-edged sword for the state. On one hand, the price of oil has dramatically increased since this conflict began, giving the state more dollars. Yesterday was over $106 a barrel. But on the other hand, the price for consumers has risen, and it may not end for some time. That's what Alaska senior senator told me moments ago, as the price of oil is now dropping around the country with the opening of the Strait of Hormuz. And with increased supply, costs have already started coming down nationally. That plummet, as Murkowski pointed out, can affect Alaska differently than the lower 48, and that could spell disaster.
But if you can't produce power because you don't have the diesel, or you just can't pay the prices, your little communities can collapse. So this is a very precarious time. Our state has enjoyed a bounty because we have benefited from the higher prices of oil that goes into our treasury, but it's the Alaskans in their small communities, and again, so many on the off-roaded communities that are going to be are threatened to be hit most hard.
The senator's remarks came from the Arctic Encounter Summit, a convention that Governor Dunleavy spoke at yesterday. We'll have more from my conversation with her on our website and our mobile app shortly.
Tonight, a dog who went missing from Anchorage for several weeks is showing the power of what happens when strangers come together. Georgina Fernandez shares the unlikely story.
Like most moms, Tori Ruhl has her car packed.
There's all my duct tape and posters.
Prepared for any mom-level mission.
How does it make you feel when you see all this now?
It's rough. I could probably cry thinking about it just because it was so hard.
For 3 weeks, it's supplies like this that lived in Ruhl's car as she searched for her missing fur baby, Finn.
I could barely even compose myself. I was just thought I was going to pass out.
Ruhl turning to social media, hoping for answers as she shared Finn's story.
And Ruhl says they passed out and hung up at least 200 posters just like these ones. And all these materials, she says, were donated by strangers.
Like Linda O'Brien, jumped straight into action, donating hundreds of dollars in supplies, from posters to helping her with traps.
2 in the morning, and that ping went off, and I woke up, and I'm like, she's in there.
That did the trick.
Good girl, there you go.
Finn is now back at home after being captured in one of the donated traps 3 weeks after escaping. Her missing posters.
Found. That's what I dreamed of too, is that poster saying found across it.
Finally sharing a different message.
She said to save the posters and use them as placemats on Thanksgiving so you knew what you were thankful for.
Because sometimes
I'm forever indebted to them.
All it takes is one stranger willing to help to make a difference. Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.